Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Now that Nick Marone is back on The Bold and the Beautiful, here's a quick refresher on the Marone family tree. The captain left B&B back in 2012. So a lot viewers who started tuning in after that year had no idea that Ridge Forrester wasn't actually a Forrester until Jack Wagner returned this week. Who is Ridge Forrester's real dad? Ridge Forrester was the son of Eric and Stephanie Forrester, Susan Flannery, his entire life. Then in 2001, a storyline aired on the CBS soap that revealed Eric Forrester wasn't actually his father. It was revealed that he was legally a member of the Forrester family. However, he was fathered by Massimo Marone. In a shocking twist, that meant Ridge's rival Nick Marone was actually his brother. A lot of Nick and Ridge's beef over the years all started with Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang. One of the many times Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, went on a crime spree, she kidnapped Ridge, Brooke, and Nick. During the ordeal, Brooke and Nick thought that Ridge had been killed, so they slept together. Of course, Ridge wasn't dead and he stumbled in on his brother hooking up with his wife. After their steamy, "sorry we thought you were dead" Ridge hookup, Brooke found out she was pregnant with RJ Forrester, Joshua Hoffman. While Ridge legally claimed RJ and raised him as a Forrester, history repeated itself, and it was revealed that Nick Marone was actually RJ's father. Eric Forrester, John McCook, did an amazing job of raising Ridge as his own. If you are new to the soap after Massimo Marone and Nick Marone's exits, then you probably didn't even realize Eric Forrester wasn't Ridge's real dad. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers tease Ridge Forrester and Nick Marone's rivalry will reach new heights this summer, and of course Brooke Logan will be right in the middle of all the drama. Do you remember when the captain was married to Brooke? Are you Team Nick or Team Ridge? For decades, The Bold and the Beautiful has fed its viewers a steady diet of fashion, betrayal, and scandal. But one of the most shocking and emotionally charged twists in the show's storied history came when it was revealed that Ridge Forrester, the man believed to be the crown jewel of the Forrester dynasty, might not be a Forrester at all. The revelation that Ridge's biological father is not Eric Forrester sent ripples through the fictional world of Los Angeles and still echoes through storylines to this day. This is not just a plot twist. This is a legacy rewrite. Chapter 1. The Golden Child of Forrester Creations. From the moment The Bold and the Beautiful premiered in 1987, Ridge Forrester was set up as the golden child of Forrester Creations, suave, confident, brilliant, and undeniably charismatic. He was the heir to the Forrester fashion empire and the man every woman wanted. Ridge was Eric and Stephanie's pride and joy, or so everyone believed. Ridge's rivalry with his brother Thorne, his complicated love life with Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes, and his tight grip on Forrester Creations all rested on the assumption that he was a legitimate Forrester. He was the future of the family. But all empires have cracks beneath their foundations, and Ridge's paternity would prove to be one of the most devastating. Chapter 2. Stephanie's Secret and a Man Named Massimo. Stephanie Forrester was always known as a woman of strength and fierce loyalty to her family. But Stephanie also had secrets. One of them involved a powerful, wealthy businessman named Massimo Marone, a man from her past, long before Eric Forrester became her husband. In a moment of vulnerability, guilt, and old romantic embers, Stephanie eventually confessed that Ridge might not be Eric's son. She had once had a passionate affair with Massimo, and when Ridge was born shortly after, she allowed Eric to believe Ridge was his. For years, she buried this truth, refusing to have Ridge's paternity tested, fearing the destruction it could cause. But secrets in soap operas are like landmines. Eventually, someone steps on one. Chapter 3. DNA Doesn't Lie. Eventually, the truth came out through a DNA test, and it was confirmed. Ridge Forrester was not Eric's biological son. His true father was Massimo Marone, making Ridge the heir to an entirely different fortune and legacy. Fans were stunned. Ridge, the epitome of what it meant to be a Forrester, was not genetically tied to the family at all. He was, in fact, a Marone. The implications were staggering. Eric felt betrayed and emasculated. His pride and identity as the father of Ridge was destroyed. Ridge was devastated, torn between the man who raised him and the stranger who sired him. Stephanie was forced to reckon with the damage of her long-held lie. And in a poetic twist of fate, Massimo Marone entered the scene to claim his role in Ridge's life. A titan of industry and powerful mogul, Massimo offered Ridge a different empire, challenging him to embrace his Marone roots. Chapter 4. Ridge's Identity Crisis. Imagine discovering the man who raised you, your moral compass, your mentor, your father, is not actually your biological parent. Now imagine that the man who is your father is an arrogant, power-hungry billionaire you barely know. That was Ridge's reality. The revelation sparked an identity crisis. Ridge wrestled with loyalty versus blood. For years, he had shaped his life around being a Forrester. Every business deal, every family dispute, every emotional decision had been built on the idea that he was Eric's rightful heir. Now, that foundation had crumbled. But what made Ridge's journey unique was that he didn't immediately abandon his Forrester roots. Instead, he chose to remain a Forrester in name, spirit, and responsibility. He accepted Massimo's blood, but not necessarily his name. He told both men, Eric and Massimo, that while DNA may shape the body, it is love and presence that shape the soul. Ridge's decision to remain Ridge Forrester was a defining moment, not just for him, but for the bold and the beautiful as a show. Chapter 5. The power struggles that followed. The paternity scandal didn't just shatter personal relationships. It cracked the very structure of power at Forrester Creations. Eric began questioning Ridge's place in the company. Could someone who wasn't biologically a Forrester be trusted to carry on the legacy? Should Thorne or even Rick, Eric's biological sons, rise to the top instead? Meanwhile, Massimo pushed Ridge to step into the Marone legacy, to lead his global empire, to claim what was rightfully his. This added another layer of tension, with Ridge caught between two legacies, one built on love, the other on power. Ridge's sons, especially Thomas, also had to contend with the meaning of being Forrester. The entire family tree was thrown into emotional chaos. Chapter 6. Stephanie's Redemption, or Ruin. Stephanie was forced to wear the crown of shame. For years, she had dictated the lives of her children with unwavering conviction, acting as a moral enforcer. Now, her own hypocrisy had been revealed. She had lied not only to Eric, but to Ridge, the man she claimed to love most in the world. For Stephanie, the truth unraveled her carefully constructed image of the perfect matriarch. At first, she doubled down, defending her decisions as ones made from love. But eventually, even she had to admit the damage she caused. Her vulnerability in the aftermath, the rare tears, the breakdowns, the confessions, gave longtime viewers a glimpse into her guilt-ridden heart. It was a storyline that showed the bold and the beautiful at its finest, human flaws cloaked in opulence and drama. Chapter 7. The Return of the Marones. For a while, the Marone name became a fixture on the show. Massimo Marone was more than just a sperm donor, he was a force to be reckoned with. He introduced Ridge to his half-brother Dominic "Nick" Marone, who became a major player in Ridge's life, and an enemy. Nick and Ridge clashed over business, legacy, and, of course, women, particularly Brooke Logan. The shared DNA between Ridge and Nick didn't result in a brotherly bond. Instead, it stoked their rivalry, making the revelation of Ridge's paternity even more dramatic and multi-layered. Nick eventually faded from the canvas, and the Marone legacy drifted into the background. But that part of Ridge's bloodline still lingers in the show's mythology. Chapter 8. The question still haunting Ridge. Even after all these years, Ridge's paternity continues to haunt him. Not in a literal, who's your daddy, kind of way, but in the subtle, quiet moments when Ridge looks in the mirror and wonders who he really is. When he faces down Thomas or Hope in a boardroom. When he watches RJ try to carve out his own legacy. When Eric looks at him with the pain of the past just barely buried. Ridge's biological father may be Massimo Marone, but Eric Forrester is, and always will be, the man who raised him, shaped him, and sometimes stood against him. Ridge is both of them, and neither of them. Chapter 9. The Legacy of the Lie. This paternity twist wasn't just about shock value. It was about reshaping a character we thought we knew. Ridge Forrester was always seen as the golden boy, the chosen one. But this revelation showed the cost of pedestal building. The storyline gave Ridge depth, complexity, and a sense of internal conflict that continues to influence his decisions today. The lie also created ripple effects throughout the show. Thorne felt vindicated but eventually crushed by the lack of attention he still received. Brooke had to question her loyalty. Could she trust Ridge with so many shifting identities? Taylor saw the cracks in Ridge's emotional armor deepen, affecting their family. Eric had to reconcile the idea that blood didn't determine love, even if it stung. Chapter 10. What if it's not over? In a show like The Bold and the Beautiful, no revelation ever stays quiet for long. With the return of RJ, the growing presence of Thomas, and Ridge stepping into a more paternal role at Forrester Creations, questions about legacy are bubbling once again. Could Massimo return, or be referenced in a future storyline? Could another secret child emerge from the Marone legacy? Might someone try to use Ridge's paternity against him in a power grab and, perhaps most daringly? What if another DNA test reveals that the original result was wrong? In the soap world, no truth is ever 100% certain. Final thoughts. Ridge, by any other name. So who is Ridge's real father? Biologically, it's Massimo Marone. But emotionally, spiritually, professionally, it's Eric Forrester. Ridge is a man caught between two legacies, one forged in passion, the other in responsibility. He walks a tightrope between two worlds, never fully belonging to either, yet commanding both. And that, perhaps, is what makes him such a compelling character. Because sometimes your true identity isn't written in blood. It's written in the choices you make. And Ridge Forrester, Marone or not, has made his choice. He's Ridge Forrester, and no DNA test will ever change that. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Bold and BAU to TFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.